Hi friends, I'm Nicholas Acciani. Let's talk backstage. In this video, I want to talk about using the tone of a play or musical in creating a vision as a director. So let's first talk about what the tone of a piece is. Now, if we're talking about literature, which at kind of some base level, plays and musicals are literature, they are being written, so we can assume that they're similar. Tone is the attitude or approach that an author takes to a work's central theme or subject. That translates actually very well to plays and to theater itself. The tone of a piece. Is it humorous? Is it sad? What is the attitude that the show has? If you think about it as a kind of living piece, the overall show, not necessarily specific characters and not necessarily specific scenes, but overall the show itself as one kind of living, breathing unit, which you kind of have to think of it as. What attitude does it have? And this is going to change director to director because you have different experiences. You have a different attitude toward the piece. Something very common to do is to mistake tone and genre. So a comedy might have a very dry tone or a very sarcastic tone to it, or it might be a very goofy tone or over the top, but they're still comedies in that genre. The same thing with a drama. It might be lighter. It might have a very wholesome feel to it, but it's still a dramatic work. It doesn't have to be dark and mysterious or moody. How is the playwright talking to you as the audience? Now, thinking as a director, how do you as the director want to talk to your audience? Figuring out that tone for yourself, the attitude that you have with the piece, the attitude that you think that play itself has towards the audience, how it's speaking to them. You have to kind of decide that for yourself as you read it. And I definitely suggest reading through a play or musical several different times to really get that tone. And the tone for me as a director is one of the things that informs my vision the most. The imagery that I try and use, how I direct the actors, how I inform what I want the set designer and lighting designer to give me for each scene, all has to reflect the overall tone, because that's going to be the overarching thing. And that tone of the play is going to help them kind of live and marry what those actors are doing. So you're not having those characters were in two different plays, because you might have someone who's super melodramatic and over the top, and then have someone who's very serious and naturalistic. And that doesn't work together for the show. You might have a really abstract set, but the light might be super realistic and they don't work together. Having that tone, that idea of the attitude of the show as your anchor point for everyone working on the show to get behind and use as that point to go back to is super important. That tone informs what that overall world is. If it is a goofy world, or if it's quirky, you might have something that resembles a Dr. Seuss type book. Or if it's super serious, if it's reflective, you might have a bunch of mirrors on set. That tone kind of sets the tone sets the tone, right? That attitude sets the tone, sets the ideas for the entire show. And once you have that, you can work with all your actors and designers and everyone involved on the show and really make it one cohesive, beautiful piece. So that's all I have really on tone. It's just basically the attitude of the piece, and you get to decide that as a director. And I hope you learned something, and I will see you next time. Bye, friends! These videos are made for educational purposes. Hopefully you learned something or reinforce something you may already know. Now, this is just one way to do this, and there may be other ways to do what I've explained in this video, and I would love to hear about those ways in the comments. Just remember to be kind as you share your own experiences and expertise on the subject. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, like, and subscribe, and hit that little bell button to be notified of the next video.